Hello, welcome in. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I don't know what is going on with StreamYard and this dog. It's actually not even StreamYard, it's X. What has happened to X? I want to know. Like, what happened to the game I love? This used to be the greatest app in the world. And oh, wait, it's actually working. Oh my, look at that. So for reference, last week when I was doing some streams, there's like an error right now with X picking up live streams. So when you use a third party streaming service like StreamYard or I guess Dewan, what's up? I guess kind of whatever you use to broadcast your stream, there's like an error where X is not like posting it within the post. So I would be live on X, but it wouldn't like pop up on my profile that I was live. It would say I was live if you clicked on my profile picture, but in my actual like X feed, if you go to where my tweets are, it was not in there and it was tilting me to no end. And there was some like workaround you had to do to get it to pull up there, but it seems like it's working now. So, all right. Anyways, how are you guys doing? Let me know in the chat. Basically, I talked about this a little bit last week, but new stream schedule with NFL being done now. So we're not going to have any streams on Mondays from me. Caleb will still do his NHL stream on Monday whenever he is able to do that. But for my daily stream, it is going to be Tuesday, definitely Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then probably Friday too. But there's just no stream on Monday and then no stream on the weekends. Obviously, we don't have any football to talk about. So today will kind of be like college basketball and just general like NFL discussion. Wednesday, kind of the same, but we'll be talking PGA on Wednesdays. And then Thursday, Steve's going to come on, obviously, when he's able to. So we kind of get into a bunch of different stuff with him. And then Friday, we'll see. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I did write a blog with some free agency predictions. If you guys missed that, I will drop the link in the chat here. So if you're on YouTube, that will pop up there. If you're not on YouTube and you're watching on X, that is fine. Please go subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Rolling Insights on YouTube. I would really appreciate that. Yeah, Kyler Murray just got released. So no shocker there. For me personally, it kind of sounded like that was the way it was trending. And if you read the free agency prediction blog that I put out last night, I actually have Malik Willis going to the Arizona Cardinals right now as one of the predictions I wrote in that blog. I think it's just too good of a fit. A, they want to move on from Murray, which they did. They just released him. And then B, him going from Matt LaFleur to Mike, Matt's brother, that really feels like a way to kind of re-energize the Cardinals fan base. Yes, Malik Willis is inexperienced, but he was very good when we saw him last year filling in for Jordan Love. I think he, goes from Matt right over to his brother in Arizona. They have a high pick in the draft, right? So they're going to get a blue chip player in this NFL draft, bring in a new quarterback. You have pieces there on offense with, you think of Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr. I know Marvin Harrison Jr. has not lived up to where he was drafted, but still, and they have other weapons. Like, I actually think Arizona could be, I don't want to say they're like good, they're going to go, win the Super Bowl or anything, but I think that would be, bringing in Malik Willis would be a way to really just re-energize that fan base. And I think they would be fun to watch. I think Malik Willis is really fun to watch, and he has potential to have a really big season, especially for fantasy football, if he's, given the keys to an offense, which I think he will. I could see Miami trying to bring him in too. There's another connection there with Jeff Hafley, who came over from Green Bay to Miami. Sounds like they're going to cut and release Tua Tagovailoa. So those are the two teams to watch for me. But I could see him going to the Arizona Cardinals for, maybe like 2 years, 50 million, and kind of just see how stuff plays out. Trying to think. Other news, we finally hit a golf outright. Nico Echeverria, absolutely electric on Sunday. 45-1 winner. And I took my golf bets really late last week. Usually I do them Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. I didn't take anything until Wednesday night last week. So I missed out on all the good Nico numbers. Again, I'm not complaining about hitting a 45-1 winner, but I know a lot of people that had 50 and like 60-1. So shout out to you if you were on that as well. But finally, we hit a golf outright. I don't want to say finally because the season just started in January. So it's only been I didn't make any bets the week I was in Vegas. So it's probably been like 7 golf tournaments. So it's not like anything crazy. I mean, it's legitimately hard to hit golf outright winners, but we did so good last year. I was so excited coming into the season. So now I'm up a little over 6 units for golf this year now, after hitting that. So looking to keep that momentum rolling. We have the Arnold Palmer this week, which we will talk about tomorrow, the full kind of breakdown. I do have a pick, though, that I want to give out because I think Rory is going to win this golf tournament. And if you know anything about golf or how I bet golf, I don't like to bet these low numbers. Scotty 3-1, like I don't ever bet that really unless it's a live thing where we parlay stuff. And then even 10-1, Rory's 10-1 on FanDuel. Like you're just not going to catch me betting that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair Rory up with a couple college basketball money lines tonight, and we're going to try and get a decent ticket on him. So we can kind of just jump into the college basketball talk now. I'm going to put Miami of Ohio money line with UCF money line and Rory to win the golf tournament. That gets you 15-1 on Rory McIlroy. So that's basically still, I don't like to take a 15-1, but that's if we can get these 2 basketball picks tonight and then get him at 15-1. I'm going to play that for close to half a unit. And then I'm probably not going to take many other outrights. And we're just really going to ride Rory this week. Dewan, you knew I was going to pick Rory. I don't really like to bet on Rory, but I think he's going to win this week. So if we can get him at 15-1, I'm probably just going to play him. I might take like 2 others in the each way market. And we'll talk about that tomorrow when we go through the tournament preview. But hopefully we get these 2 basketball picks to cash tonight. And then we have a nice 15-1 ticket on Rory, and we don't really need to do much else. We're just going to sit back and kind of root for him this week. So that's kind of my plan right now. But, that's also contingent on these basketball teams winning tonight. I have the college basketball slate pulled up on Unabated. So we're going to kind of dive into that. I'm just going to type this into my sheet quickly. So we're doing Miami, Ohio, money line plus UCF money line plus Rory to win the API, and that's plus 1552 on FanDuel, and we're playing that for 0.4 units. All right, so it's been up and down for me, college basketball, the last few weeks. Dewan, golf DFS too. I'll have my blog out for the golf stuff tomorrow. We'll talk about on stream. I'll have the blog out. I've been having a really fun time playing PGA DFS, so I'm excited to kind of keep that moving. We're getting closer to some majors. The Players is coming up, which is a really, really big tournament, biggest purse for the actual golfers. Biggest purse is the Players Championship, so I'm excited for some of the big tournaments we have coming up. It's been up and down college basketball betting-wise. Starting to heat up a little bit, though. Caught a winner last night. We had the over in the Duke game. and I'm going to talk about this. I saw everybody that gives out picks last night betting NC State plus 9.5. Every single person that gives out picks was on NC State. I literally did not see one Duke ticket, and I want to talk about it because it fits into what we're doing tonight. 5 years ago, 4 years ago, even 3 years ago, I would have bet NC State in that game, 100%. It just was the right play 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know if this has to do with transfer portal. I don't know. I don't know if it has to do with the way that they set lines and the amount of public information available and kind of the betting splits all around. I really don't have a concrete explanation for it, but those, when I say obvious, it's just like it would be clear. 3 or 4 years ago, you could pull up a college basketball board and you would just see a unranked team at home favored over a ranked team, and you would know, you just bet that. You just blindly bet it, and it hits more often than not. And the same thing can be applied to a team like NC State, right? Like, not really in the greatest form at home against Duke, who's been absolutely rolling, coming off a bunch of big wins. It feels like the spread should be higher than it was, and it was single digits. Like, those are spots years ago that we would just not even think about it, and it feels like they would win. And that just has not been the case last year and this year, especially as when I've noticed it. Like, those spots are just not paying like they used to. So, kind of applying that same logic to tonight's slate of games, I think we have 2 games that kind of fall into that similar construct. So we have Alabama on the road against Georgia. Georgia was favored in this game for a while. It's moved a little bit now towards Bama. I'm seeing Bama minus 126 on the money line. They're minus 1.5 on the spread. I'm going to take Alabama in this game. And a couple years ago, I probably would have been taking Georgia here. I'm taking Bama. I took him at minus 110 on the money line. I'm still fine with them at minus 126. You might still be able to find it, though. Let me pull up. Let's look at money line here on Unabated. Let's see. It's Alabama right here. Yeah, there's a minus 115 on DK. That's looking like your best bet. So yeah, Alabama money line minus 115. That's a play for me tonight. I will be taking Alabama. The same exact thing can be applied to UCLA. They're at home. It's a close spread over Nebraska. Nebraska was ranked for a long time. They were absolutely rolling early on in the season. UCLA is a short home favorite over Nebraska. I'm just going to take Nebraska. I think Nebraska is the better team, and I don't really care that it's travel and at UCLA. Like, I just don't care. So Nebraska is a play for me tonight. I took them plus 1.5, and then Alabama is a play for me at minus 110 on the money line, minus 115 if you're watching now, because it's the best line available. So those 2 stick out to me tonight. I don't really want to lay a big number with Illinois. 18.5. That seems like a little too much for me. Kind of the same thing I could say about Florida. Florida's been absolutely rolling, but 22.5 is kind of on that fringy range where I don't feel comfortable playing it, even though I think Florida's going to roll. If you watch the stream I did last week, I took Florida 12-1 to win the national title on that stream. They are down to 8-1, basically across the board. It's Michigan, Duke, Arizona, and then Florida. Those 4 have really separated in terms of the odds to win the national title. And Michigan, Duke, and Zona are just far ahead of everybody. They're all below 5-1. Then you have Arizona at 8, and then it jumps up to Houston at 12. I posted in our Discord last night. If you guys are not in the Rolling Insights Discord, it's free. I would recommend hopping in there with March Madness coming up. We're going to be in there talking, sweating some golf, sweating some March Madness in there. But I said it last night. I have my champion pick. I think Florida's going to win the national title, and they're going to go back to back. I don't really see a weakness on this team right now. They really struggled shooting the ball early on in the season, and Xavier Lee, which I talked about last week, who I liked a lot coming over from Princeton, he really struggled to begin the season. He has played much better, and not only that, the team has shot so much better from the floor. They were shooting below 30% from three for the first couple months of the season. That number over the last month has jumped up well over 30%. They have everything you're looking for. Defense, size. If they're shooting the way that they have been, I just think they're going to be a really tough out. And that's not discrediting Duke, Michigan, or Arizona whatsoever. I think those are all, really good teams, all very capable of winning the national championship. But I like Florida the best right now. And I like that you're getting them at a little bit better odds. And I like that there's potential for them to be lesser picked when we get to the bracket time. You guys know I don't like to take the chalk pick. I like to use the public pick percentage when filling out my bracket. I'm really hoping people just fire in Duke and Michigan, and then we can get a good percentage on Florida, who I think is very similar to those teams in terms of what I would project them to do. And we're going to get them at way lower picked relative to their actual chance of winning if the public is really just focused on Duke and Michigan. So that's kind of like my plan right now. But I did bet Florida at 12-1. Still fine with them at 8-1. If you missed out on that, I would fire in on Florida to win the title and kind of just go from there, because I really like them. I feel really good about them right now. We still have, a couple weeks. Got to go through the conference tournament play and all that stuff. But right now I'm really leaning towards Florida as my national championship pick. Nothing else really sticks out to me for tonight. I do kind of like Cincy. Did not bet them, but I would definitely lean towards them at home against BYU. BYU looks terrible. I'm just gonna say it. I don't know. They look horrible right now. They are down to, I'm trying to see where they're at in KenPom. They're down to 23rd. Like offensively, they're fine, right? You have DeBansta, you have Rob Wright, who I like a lot, kind of like a dynamic ball handler. Some decent spot up shooters there, but they look like legitimately bad defensively. They're outside the top 50 in KenPom defensive rating right now. BYU, they're at 51st, and that tracks. I mean, West Virginia. And I don't like to look at one game sample sizes in conference play basketball, especially Big 12, like a conference of that quality. But I mean, West Virginia has done nothing to inspire any confidence in you whatsoever on the basketball court this year. And they had no issues against BYU on Saturday. So just for reference, right? So West Virginia scored 84 points in an overtime loss to Oklahoma State on February 24th. Other than that, like, they really haven't been lighting up the scoreboard, right? If we go back to like when conference play started, they scored 59 points against Iowa State. Okay, not surprising, right? Iowa State, very good defensive team. They scored 60 points against Cincy, 48 against Houston. These are some of like the better teams, right? 53 against Arizona. But then they scored 59 points against Kansas State, 53 against Baylor, 59 against Cincy again, 63 against Texas Tech. They really haven't been lighting up the scoreboard. They scored 79, so 79 points against BYU. They started off the game red hot. It just kind of carried on. They were hitting threes, just no defensive resistance whatsoever from BYU. So I'm a little bit worried about BYU, to be honest with you. I kind of have them on the list of teams that I could see getting picked off in the first or second round of this tournament. It's going to be contingent on who they match up with, but I would have no problems taking Cincinnati over them tonight. They just have not impressed me, especially as of late. And then, they started off the season pretty well. and I don't know this, like this is just an assumption, but the farther we go into the season with them kind of lackluster, it's like I would start to question like DeBance's motivation, right? Like he's probably going to start entertaining that conversation in his head of like, okay, probably should like not get hurt, considering he's going to be a top 2 or 3 pick in the NBA draft. But yeah, I'd be fine taking Cincy over them tonight. Auburn, another team that's just been terrible. They're -8.5 at home against LSU. Don't really want to touch that. We have some of the smaller conference tournaments starting up this tonight as well, like the Sun Belt, Louisiana and Georgia State. I like to watch these smaller conference tournaments, so that's something to keep an eye on. I don't have a play. Army and Bucknell tonight as well over. See, Army +2.5. I'll look into some of these games. I don't have a play in any of them right now, but I'll take a look and then we might add something later. But yeah, overall, that about does it for today. Tomorrow, we're gonna talk golf, and then I want to talk some takeaways from the NFL Combine. I'm gonna do a blog post as well. In addition to, I did the free agency one today. I'm gonna do one or yesterday. I'm gonna do a blog post that kind of goes over the, just my biggest takeaways from the Combine, kind of ahead of the NFL draft, and then I'm going to start doing mock drafts next week. I'll probably do one a week, and we'll go over those on stream too. But overall, if you join late, new stream schedule, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, probably Friday too, but we're not going to have Monday streams from me while it's not football season. Tomorrow, I'll be live 4 o'clock. We're going to talk PGA and some NFL Combine. Thank you guys for tuning in. Alabama tonight, Nebraska tonight, trying to get a Rory ticket as well with some parlay going on there. So good luck tonight. If you're betting or playing DFS, I will be live tomorrow, 4 p.m. PGA preview, and I will see you all then.